Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to Narrative Notions, our little podcast where we talk about books, movies, TV shows, all things media. All opinions are our own. Hashtag dead dove do not eat. We apologize for nothing. I'm Bethany. That is Bianca. And today's episode, we are talking about shows that were unrightfully canceled and shows that should have been canceled long into their run. But before we do that, Bianca, give us an update. What's going on?
Well, I currently have a cat in this room that is pulling up my carpet because he's mischievous. I know y'all saw that. Oh my God. I also have Clementine next to me. It's because Cassian wants to get out to go and play with Clarence, but I he wanted to come in here. It's not my fault. Other updates, I did in fact make an ASMR channel. And I will link that in the description. Having fun with it. My very first video has 101 views, and I have 12 subscribers. 12
Yay! I'm so
subscribers.
proud of
That's
you.
more than the pods got. Wow.
I'm
But
so
it's
happy for
fun.
you.
So I did do another video. I edited that, and that is going to drop tonight at 8 p.m. It will already be out by the time this is out because this is coming out tomorrow. You guys will notice that I am very like bleached right now because we are filming during the day instead of at night, and there is nothing that I can do about the light coming through my window and making me look super white. Can't help it. Um, I'm still watching Deadliest Catch, so really the only updates that I have on reading are I'm almost done with Airfire. I have less than 40 pages left. I wanted to finish it before we started this episode, but I was also editing that episode of the ASMR channel, so oh fancy. I did, however, finish a book this morning, which was One Dark Window that I told you guys about, and I actually really loved it, and I will be reading the second book. Um, Things are bad. Things are bad. Things are bad. And ouch. Big ouch. One Dark Window. I said it seemed like a Cinderella retelling from like the family dynamics. Ended up being very dark. It's smidge of romance. Uh I really liked it. The ending is sad. I don't know how they're gonna fix everything in the next book, but I guess they can try. Also, my fucking Libby hold on Cemetery Boys finally came through last night.
Woo!
So I can finally finish it. I have it on my Kindle, and I will be working on that later after I finish Air of Fire. I am now up to how many books this year? 32 out of 50. I'm 6 books ahead of schedule. I'm about to
Nice.
be 7. Hey, that's all I got.
Okay. Um, I finished Renegades, which, yay. The ending,
Wow.
I know, I finished a book. How about that? Um, I the ending was I don't want to say it wasn't predictable because it kind of was. I kind of saw it coming just because of the way things were set up. But also, the fact that I was right was really shocking in a way. It was one of those endings where it's like, oh, that's a little too on the nose. They wouldn't do that. And then they did. And then it was pulled off pretty well. And I was like, what the hell? Damn. Okay. Um, Currently watching, I am still watching Soul Eater, rewatching Soul Eater. I have also started watching Yona of the Dawn because I know you wanted me to watch that a couple of years ago.
Oh, I'm lightheaded. Oh, I'm lightheaded. And you waited until now to tell me?
Yes, I started
Dude,
it
that
last
is so
night, so I haven't
tough.
been watching. I didn't get very far.
How many episodes are what?
I just finished. I managed 2 episodes last night because I started watching it pretty late. So I got through the first 2 episodes, which is kind of like the intro anyway. So, um, as of right now, currently, I love it. I think it's cute and fantasy and dragons and stuff is right up my alley. I will say though, it took me a minute to get through that first episode because the exposition dumping is insane. It
Exposition
is.
dumping.
Yes. So it is quite in the first episode, Yona quite literally looks at the camera like she's in a Disney Channel original movie for preteens and goes, "Hi, I'm Yona. I'm 15. My 16th birthday is in a few days, and my mother's dead and I'm my father's only child, and I'm a princess and I'm in love with my cousin." And I'm like, "What am I watching?" So it took me a minute to get through that.
It
But,
gets better. Now, granted, they it only has one season, which is very sad. So you will have to read the manga after, but the manga is fucking amazing, dog. Like it's still currently being written, I think. Let's see.
huh.
The Dawn manga. Oh, I just found it online. Wow, would you look at that? Um, how many volumes do we have so far? There's 44. It's still being written. The last one came out last month.
Huh.
So the last one came out
Nice.
last month. I don't know how many chapters it's going to end up having. Right now, it's currently at 257.
Mm.
I don't remember where I left off.
I'm sure it's on
Uh,
Goodreads.
it uh it might be if I'm being honest with you. I think I might have left off on 15 or 16.
Mm.
Something like that. I've been borrowing them from the library because it's fun
Yeah.
to read them in person, but you can find it online. Don't
Yeah.
tell the
Well, that's what I
government
did.
that we read things illegally.
Well, that's what I did with Kami-sama Kiss. Because I fell in love with Tomoe. Of course I did. Um, but when I finished that, I went and found, and I'm not even going to talk about how I've been reading Black Butler. We don't. We're not going to get into that because I have been giving up with that, which is surprising. But things are happening in Black Butler, by the way. It's insane. Um, Speaking of, the fourth season came out recently, and as far as I think it's finished, so I will start watching that soon if I can find it, because I don't want to have to pay money for Crunchyroll, but if I have to, I will bite the bullet and get like that 7-day trial and then binge it all in one day. That's what I did for season 5 of Bungo Stray Dogs.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Um, what else? Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think that's it for my updates. So, yeah. All right.
Shows that have been canceled.
That have been canceled or should have been canceled.
I don't have very
I,
many because honestly, if I know that it's going to be canceled or it has been canceled, I will avoid it. But there are a couple that I
yeah,
watched that I had no idea.
yeah. Um, I, w it's on both of our lists, but The Secret Circle,
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I have read the books.
it
I
was
do own
really
the
good.
books. Um,
I was so
I
mad.
like
I
what's
was
her
so mad.
face. I don't know her name, but I like what's her face because I liked her in the movie with Dylan O'Brien.
Britt Robertson, I think is what her
Yes.
name is. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because they said that they did really good with that show, and they set it up really well. And her with the dude and the dead crows, that was really interesting. And I'm like, why would you cancel that? I'm mad.
And then they set it up for a second season, and now we'll just never know. Granted, I
Yeah,
read the
and
book,
now
so
I
I
know.
know, but nobody else knows. Well,
Yeah.
anyone else that
Um,
has read the books, I don't know, man. Who the
um,
hell else has read these books? Probably not
I
a lot of people.
I'm gonna go on a small rant about the Society on Netflix. I was in love with that show. I loved it so much. It was amazing. It was pretty much the Gone books, but without everything else. Kind of like without the superpowers. So basically, all the adults disappeared. They just vanished.
Mhm.
And so it's kind of like a just like Lord of the Flies situation, kind of. I didn't finish Lord of the Flies, so I don't actually know. But all these kids are in their town trying to survive, trying to figure out what the hell they can do without the adults taking care of them and whatnot. And there's all this teenage drama. There's this psychopath who is trying to kill people, and he's dating this one girl and she almost kills him with antifreeze in a pie that she feeds to everybody in the town hall by accident, so they all almost die. um and then there is this one guy, Sam. He is deaf. He is played by a deaf actor, and I adore him. He was really great. I love his character, and I loved all of the characters except for the psychopath. He was just an asshole. But it was so well done. It was so great. It was set up so well. And the storytelling was great. The pacing was amazing. Everything was great. And they even got confirmed for a second season. They got confirmed for a second season. And then they fucking canceled it. They announced season 2 with all of the actors, all of the directors, the cast and crew, everybody. They posted videos confirming season 2, and then they fucking canceled it. And I am mad because that first season got left on a fucking cliffhanger, and I will never not be upset about it. Netflix, sit in the corner and think about what you've done. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
They like to cancel shows.
They cancel all of they cancel all of their best shows. Just say it.
The only other one that I could think of, off the top of my head was one that I watched with my mom, and it's called Chambers, which was really good. It was about this girl who needed a heart transplant, and she was given this heart transplant from a girl that she went to school with that died. I don't remember how. And then she starts acting weird. She starts seeing things. She starts seeing this other girl in the mirror, and she's like trying to take over her body. Well, come to find out that the girl who gave her the heart was like in some funky ass cult society, and they were going to sacrifice her um as like a vessel for the devil. Uh so she like, I think she killed herself or something so that this didn't happen. And then this other girl got her heart, and then they sacrificed her. So she is the vessel for the devil. And it ended on it fucking took over her body and she was like killing people. And that's just where it left off. And I'm like, oh,
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 it,
it was
it
really
would be
good.
nice
I
to
don't
stay
know
after
where
that.
you go from there. Fucking slaughtering people, but whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah,
Um,
that was one on Netflix. I currently can't think of any others that have been canceled on Netflix. I did,
there
however,
was.
find a website called ismyshowcanceled.com. And
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
going through, yes, I'm just going through the list of ismyshowcanceled.com, and it has all shows that have been canceled within like the last fucking 15 years or so, maybe longer if I'm being honest with you. And it's like
That's
A to Z. And I'm
that's
just
amazing.
looking because why not? There's 114 pages.
Oh,
I have
nice.
not yet come across one that I care about.
Mm.
Ah, man, Arthur got canceled
How do you
in
what
2022.
really?
Arthur. Yeah, it's been running for almost 20 years. Or no, excuse me, 30. Almost 30 years and you cancel? It's Arthur. How do you cancel Arthur? Like, come on, DW will break your kneecaps. I'm looking for more that I care about.
I
This is a
um
lot of shows.
I am going to throw in the mention of Firefly because that was amazing. It was a sci-fi show where it was I think it was like 500 years in the future or something like that.
I've
And
heard a lot about Firefly. I've never known anything about it. I've never
yeah,
watched it, but I've heard a lot of people really loved it and really hated that it was
it
canceled.
was great. So basically it was like 500 years in the future after like a universal civil war or something like that. And there's like this crew of people on a transport spaceship, and they were taking any jobs they had as long as it like paid them and they got food and stuff like that and they were able to survive. Um and that's all they wanted. They just wanted to survive. And as they are going through space and they're um making all these deliveries and stuff like that, they meet like these monsters and all these other like complications and stuff in space, like flesh eating alien type things that live like in the universe and stuff like that. And it was really good. It was kind of like Doctor Who, but like better, I dare say. And that's coming from someone who did like Doctor Who for a while, but Firefly was absolutely amazing. I love it, and I was so mad when it got canceled. Um, because it's sci-fi that's right up my alley specifically. So I was mad. I watched it I watched it by accident. Not really by accident, but I was looking for something different and I saw Firefly and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. Watched the first episode. I was hooked. I binged the first season within like 2 or 3 days. And then I found out that it was canceled. I was like, oh, let me see, like, where's the second season or whatever? Is there a second season? Nope. Nope. My dreams were dashed.
They canceled Cake Boss. Man.
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
No, I loved Cake Boss as a kid. They canceled in
I did
2020,
too.
so I'm like really behind the times, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Canceled Cash Cab. I
I
really
knew
love
about
just stupid dad TV. Like, come on.
Yeah, I knew about Cake Boss because I wanted to watch like new episodes and stuff, and then I saw something that said it was canceled or something, and I was like, "Oh." I remember watching the Leaning Tower of Pisa episode.
For Cake Boss? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I was spending the night with my cousin, and she wanted to watch something, and I didn't, and like we couldn't find anything to watch, so I was like, "Hey, there's this show where they make cakes, and these angry Italian people just yell at each other for 45 minutes."
As
And she was
Italian
like,
people
"Cool."
do.
Yeah. So I showed her Cake Boss and we watched like 4 episodes in one sitting. And we were like preteens at the time. So, and it was late at night. So, like staying up to like 12 watching Cake Boss was like peak teenager, um, at the time. So that was fun. I think they made a working snow globe at one point too. I think, I think I
They're like
remember
really good
that.
at what they do.
Yeah.
I
I
have
always wanted one of their cakes, but I knew that it would be ungodly expensive.
I've remembered another one which is almost certainly on your list, but I did not immediately think of it. But Shadowhunters,
Yes. Yes.
Stop trying to make it happen if you're not gonna properly make it happen. You
I
keep
know.
canceling this shit. Like, come
I
on, the
know.
ending was
'Cause
stupid.
yeah. Um and like I here's my thing. So like for me, a lot of the people who watched the show were very upset that they weren't following the books to a T, and I get that. But to me, the books and the movie and the show are all three separate things.
Yeah.
Because I liked what they did with the TV show. I liked that they made them older, and I liked that they kind of made it like a little bit darker. Um, just because it was more entertaining that way. And then the ending, the ending was stupid because it was rushed. They got it got canceled last minute, and they were like, "Hey, we can't leave this on a cliffhanger with Magnus in hell." And so we gotta save him and we gotta figure this out. So like the ending was rushed, so it was bad. But for me, I have always loved the good guy turns bad for a little bit. I love that trope. I love it. I think it's so interesting, which is why I love Void Styles so much. To see this really good, nice character be evil and then his friends have to save him. I love it. I love it. So when I found out that that was the plan for Magnus, I was so excited. And then they canceled it, and I was so mad. I was so upset because I wanted to see Alex save Magnus because Magnus has saved the Shadowhunters thousands of times, even in the books. He saves their lives all the time. And what does he get? Does he ever get a thank you? No. He gets a bunch of teenagers at his door, lurking in his house, stealing his food and all that, using his magic. Like, damn, be a little grateful. But at least Magnus and Alec got married, I guess. I have feelings about canceled shows.
She has feelings.
I have
Um,
feelings. I have very strong feelings about this. Now, since we are kind of like throwing in movies, do you think the movies could have been good?
if they didn't have Jamie Campbell looking like a fucking Skeletor and just immediately ruining the vibe, then yeah.
Yeah. You know
I
what
love
also
him.
killed the
Okay, I
vibe
love him
for
as a
me?
person, but he is
Yeah.
not Jace. He just is
No.
not.
He was great in Stranger Things as Vecna. He was great.
Yes,
He did
I
that
like
very
him as
well.
an actor. I didn't like
Yeah.
him as Jace because no,
No,
I
he was
didn't
so
like Lily,
skinny.
what's her face, as Clary. I did, however, like the hell is his name? Something Sheehan as Simon. I like him as
I
Simon.
don't remember what
He
his name
was
was
a
either.
good Simon.
He was
He
a
was a
good Simon.
good
He was a
Simon.
great Simon.
He was a
I
great
liked,
Simon.
yeah, I liked Godfrey Gal, R.I.P. because we found out that he is in fact dead. Uh, Godfrey Gal as Magnus. He was great. I loved him as Magnus. He was great. Um, you know what also kind of killed the vibe for me? When they made Alec and Izzy British.
Yeah, yeah.
Like like in the books, I think it's mentioned that they lived in the London Institute for a while. I think I could be wrong. But why would you just make them British?
They wanted them to be exotic, but still white.
Yeah. They also it could have been better if they had a bigger budget.
Yeah, yeah.
That movie had a very low budget, you could tell.
It could be great. It could be great, but no, instead we got fucking Valentine shirtless and
Oh my God, I
his
forgot
hair
about
in
that.
weird ass braids.
I forgot about
I don't
that.
know, man.
I will say that
No,
Matthew Daddario as Alec in the TV show was absolutely godsend.
of course.
Best decision ever. If there's anything anyone needs to know about me is that I am a whore for Matthew Daddario.
She is indeed a whore for Matthew Daddario.
I love me some Matthew Daddario. Just saying.
And she will let you know about it. She will
I
always.
absolutely will. I absolutely will.
I
Uh,
found another one. I
mm,
don't know if you've watched this one, but I have a core memory of this because it was right slap ass when COVID started, and Matt and I had been house sitting for one of his friends, and we were watching this show on the big, huge TV in the living room. I remember I was eating those gummy worms, but they had like the hard, crunchy shell on them. Did you
hmm
ever have those? God, they were
Yeah,
delicious. I ate so
they were
many of
really
them that
good.
they made me sick. I think that they discontinued them, which probably a good idea because I would have eaten them for every meal. But it's called Cursed, and we know that I don't like anything with the Arthurian legend, but this one was based off of it, and I did enjoy it. So it is a reimagining
Yes,
of
I
the
did watch it.
Arthurian legend told from the perspective of Nimue, the
Nimue, yeah.
lady in the lake or
Yes.
something like that.
Lady of the Lake, yeah.
Um, so yes, I really liked it. They ended up canceling it. It has Catherine Langford in it, the girl from 13 Reasons Why, who is also the sister of Josephine Langford, who is in the After movies.
Yes.
Or Josephine and her bad, bad movies. Poor
Yeah, I did
Josephine.
watch Cursed. I did watch that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I'm not super duper like angry about it, mostly because I'm still mad about BBC Merlin, and that will
Fair.
always have a place in my heart. But um, still. Anyway, um, did you ever watch the show Twisted
No,
with Avon Jogia or whatever the fuck his name is?
no.
No. Okay. So basically his character gets accused of murder. I think he gets accused of a crime. I think it's murder. Um, and the main girl like falls in love with him because like they're childhood best friends or whatever. And she's always had a crush on him, and like he's in prison or going on trial and stuff like that. And it was really good. I don't remember like the details of it because it's been a while since I've seen it, but it was really good. And I was mad that they canceled it. They canceled a lot of ABC shows, like the ABC Family shows. Now that I think about
Mm-hmm.
it, they canceled a lot of them. Um, what was another one? The Nine Lives of Chloe King. They canceled that one too.
Dude. Um, I don't think I ever watched the show. I might have. I might have watched a little bit of it, but I read the book. I still own the book. And I really loved the book.
Mm.
I am
It's
looking for more in this list.
I had my own list too, but I'm kind of I kind of went away from that. Um, oh, Terra Nova was another one. I loved Terra Nova. So it was basically, I think it was like a dystopian type show with dinosaurs. And we know how
Okay.
I feel about dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. It was great. Um, yeah, I think it was like time travel and dinosaurs. Um, I think they were like I think it was like 100 years in the future or something like that. And they get time traveled into the past, into prehistoric Earth with the dinosaurs, and they have to like survive or whatever because they're trying to survive the apocalypse in the future. But now they have to save themselves and humanity in prehistoric Earth with the threat of dinosaurs. So it was actually really cool. I really liked it. And then it got canceled and I was mad. It has, I have to double check, but I think it has the girl who played Jasmine in the live action Aladdin.
Hmm.
Terra Nova, I think.
They ended up canceling the live action Winx Club shit.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
The Winx Saga. I tried to watch it. Literally, how do you stray so far from the original material?
Dude,
I
right?
It was bad. It was bad.
It was so bad
I
because
was
I
like,
tried watching it too
who?
because I loved Winx growing up. I
The
loved it.
CGI was awful, dude.
Oh, dude.
Fucking awful. Like, just leave it alone.
Yeah. Oh, I closed out my tab. Let's see.
I
I know that. Angel got canceled, but I didn't really watch it. I watched a little bit of Buffy, but like I couldn't really get into it. Um,
I want to watch Buffy. I just haven't.
I mean it's good. I don't know why I couldn't get into it. Maybe I just watched it at the wrong time because we know it's all about vibes
Yeah.
in the current time. So yeah. What else? I know I said Firefly. It wasn't anything that like I watched, but the amount of TV shows that Lucy Hale has tried to start and have all been canceled is actually insane.
Do tell.
So I am going to have to double check, but like she has been in several shows since Pretty Little Liars ended, and all of them have been canceled. And one of, I think it was called Second Chance or something like that, um,
She
where
didn't get her second chance.
um it was what was it? Where was it? Where was it? Where is it? Life Sentence. It was called Life Sentence. Where her character, I guess, had cancer and then she survived. Um, but apparently it was really bad. So they just didn't continue it. Um, there were a couple other ones, like I don't actually know what most of these shows are, but there's one called Privileged, which that was from the early 2000s though. Um, Katie Keene, I have no idea what that is. Um, a lot of her movies apparently have done well, but her TV shows, not so much.
All of the
We
horror
watched,
movies I've seen her in are ass.
yeah, yeah, the horror movies are bad. Yeah. We watched
Straight
Fantasy
ass.
Island. We saw that in
We
theaters.
did, and it was fucking awful.
It was terrible.
It was awful. I just found out that they canceled the Gossip Girl remake. Because
Oh,
why would
did
you
they?
remake it?
Dude,
Yes, they
right?
canceled it. Stop that.
Good.
Stop
That's one thing
remaking
that
good
should be
old
canceled.
shows.
Dude, I'm saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Now, granted, did the original makers of Gossip Girl know who Gossip Girl was gonna be until like season 4?
No.
No.
Have I finished it? No. Do I know who Gossip Girl was? Yes. I got spoiled. I would rewatch it though. I think I got to season 2.
Hmm. It like, and when you go back and you look at it, you can kind of tell that like they had no idea who Gossip Girl was until the very end, and they were like, we need someone who's going to be a complete shock because who Gossip Girl really was made absolutely no sense. But that's just me.
Because, why would we plan out a show in advance? Why would we do
Right?
that? I'm still going through this list on this website.
There was whatever that spinoff was. I mentioned it before, but there was a spinoff of Pretty Little Liars. I think it was called Ravenswood or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is funny because I watched like a season and a half of Pretty Little Liars. Um, but I watched the entire first season of Ravenswood and I really enjoyed it. I had no idea that they were connected when it first aired. I didn't know that's what it was. Um, but I loved it and I wasn't confused without the context of Pretty Little Liars. And then they canceled it and I was mad.
They canceled the
So,
Hype House show after one season.
big surprise there.
Like, what are y'all doing? Stop giving TikTok people this weird ass fame. What?
Dude, stop
There
making
was
the
an
wrong people
MTV
famous.
show called I Just Want My Pants Back,
Uh,
based
okay.
off of a 2007 novel of the same name. It's a dramedy. I just want my pants back. You know? That's fair.
Okay. Yeah, all right, sure. Yeah, yeah. Who wouldn't want their pants? I guess. Um,
They canceled the iCarly remake. Well,
yeah, I knew about that.
continuation.
Yeah, I knew about that. And apparently ended it really stupid too, because they put it on a cliffhanger of like mom, where like their mom shows up, and then they just end it there, which is the funniest thing they probably could have done. Oh, I had another show that they canceled, but I forgot what it was. What? Oh, Rise of the Pink Ladies. It's on Paramount and I think it was either a prequel. Well, I think it was a prequel or maybe just like a regular spinoff of Grease. And it was really good. The songs were really good. It was great. Um, but apparently the one like sapphic couple was too gay for them for the 80s. So they canceled it. And apparently that's the actual reason why, from what I understand. Because it was really popular. A lot of people really loved it because it was Grease. It had a big audience. Um, but they were like, no, they want this lesbian couple to be together, so we're gonna cancel it. So you can never have that. Haha, bye.
I found another one that was on Netflix called, you probably have not seen this one, but October Faction. It only had one season. It
I've never
was
even
a
heard of
horror
that.
show, and it was based around this family of monster hunters that are part of the October Faction. They hunt monsters, they kill monsters. It's a whole thing. It got canceled. I was really sad. I actually really enjoyed it. I wish that it had more seasons. Life sucks. The CGI was really good, and the monsters were hella creepy. I enjoyed it. I'm still going
Nice.
through this list. I'm on page 59 of 114.
Okay. Um, I I really only have one more to talk about that like really truly bothered me. Save the best for last. And if anyone in here watching this of our four viewers agrees with me, please let me know so I don't feel absolutely insane. But Julian the Phantom, it was wonderful. It was a great show. Was it a show for children? Yes. Did I care? No, because the music was great, the actors were amazing, and the storyline was absolutely fun because it's about this band that four of three of the members of this band die, and then they get brought back by this girl named Julie, and they learn that they can be seen by other people when they play music or when they sing with Julie. And they don't know what the connection to Julie is. They don't know why this is a thing that can happen. But if you watch the show and you pay attention, you realize that the girl that worked at the um venue that they were going to play at in the first episode when they die is Julie's mom. So she had like close connections with them. And that's how they're connected. But anyway, I was so mad when they canceled it because it was absolutely great. The music was amazing and they were played by actual teenagers. You don't see that very often. And if you want to know how good this show actually was, it was directed by Kenny Ortega, who made half of the Disney movies on Disney Channel, so like High School Musical and stuff like that. How do you tell Kenny Ortega that you're going to cancel his show? And it came out at the peak of COVID. So people were stuck in their houses. They were going to do nothing but watch this show, especially their kids that they weren't sending to school. So what I am baffled. I'm baffled and I'm upset. And I'm mad. And I will never forgive Netflix. Netflix has canceled too many good shows. Shadow and Bone is right up there with them. But to be honest, I really only watch Shadow and Bone for the crows, if I'm being totally honest. And for Ben Barnes.
Always Ben Barnes.
Always for Ben Barnes.
Kidding me? I
That is
haven't
the only
watched
reason I watched
the
that
next
show because of him.
season because I knew it was canceled and it just makes me sad and I just don't want.
But it's so good. You need to see Jesper and Waylon. Wylan. And I was so upset. I was so sad. And then Inej and Kaz. I have feelings.
I've noticed.
I didn't realize I was gonna get this wound up talking about this, but that's cool. This is a side of me people don't see very often. Don't cancel my favorite shows. Why are you canceling all the best shows? You can cancel that, but you won't cancel Supernatural with 15,000 seasons. Supernatural should have ended after season 10, and that's giving it grace. Because to me, I think season 6 was the last good season, if I'm being
Fair.
totally honest.
I've watched
And
up
the
to
only,
season 7.
yeah, I think I got to like season 7, season 8, and then I watched the musical episode of it. And then I watched it for uh Dean getting possessed by a demon. I watched up to that and then they fixed that problem and I was like, yeah, I'm not interested in this anymore. And also the ending was really stupid from what I understand.
Makes sense.
So, like that's
They
what
should have
happens
ended
when
it
TV
early.
shows go on for too long. If a TV show goes on for too long and the quality of the writing and the acting goes down, the ending is stupid.
Yes. They
And
should have
I
ended
am
Lost early.
They really should have
It
ended a lot. They should have ended Grey's
and
Anatomy.
the and it's still fucking going, and that was on
Still
my
going.
list. Why? Why do we have this many seasons? I
I
None
don't
of
know,
the
especially
original
when
characters are here.
no.
Like, come on.
I think Bailey and Weber are the only ones that are left, and nobody likes Dr. Weber that much to still watch the show. Now,
Like, you cheated
granted,
on your
Harry Shum Jr.
wife
is on the show now, so if I were to watch the new season, it would be to watch it for Harry Shum Jr. and I would
just
support him.
for
So
Harry.
I guess as long as Harry has a job and he can provide for his voice actor wife and their child, then I would absolutely, okay, I have no problem with Grey's Anatomy still being on because yay, good for you. But like all of the characters, who likes Teddy enough to continue to watch that, to watch her be like, what is she, like the director or something of the hospital or the surgical team or something like that? I don't know. Teddy is annoying as hell. I did not like Teddy ever. And I wanted her to leave, and she left, and then she came back. The only one who can leave and come back and me not hate them was April.
Fair.
But then April left, and then Jackson left, and then Meredith left. How you don't have Grey's Anatomy without the main character. Actually, I think Meredith came back. I don't know. I don't keep up with it anymore.
You say
Let
as
it
you know
die.
more than I do. Let it die, let it die. Let it
I follow
shrivel up and
Harry
die.
on, yeah, I follow Harry on Instagram, so that's the only reason I know he's on Grey's Anatomy. And then every now and then it'll pop up on like TikTok or something, but that's about it.
Haven't found any others that I care about, but I mean, if I'm not immediately thinking of it, I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen very many shows that have been like canceled early or, had an unexpected cancellation that I care about anyway.
Mm.
Because I'm literally like grasping at straws here. But I'm like, will I find anything that was something interesting to me that I just currently can't remember? And we're currently on page 83 of 114, and I still haven't found any more. But at the same time, I'm like deeply, weirdly curious, and I am currently hyper fixating on this. So I'm like
Yeah.
looking and I'm like, I just want to know all of the shows that have been canceled. I just want to go through all of the pages.
I have three shows that I thought of that should have been canceled or should have ended sooner.
Mm-hmm.
One, How to Get Away with Murder. Season 6, 7, whatever that last season was, unnecessary. That's all
I've
I
only
have to say.
seen
It was
season
unnecessary.
one.
That's all I have to say. The last season of How to Get Away with Murder was absolutely unnecessary, and I hate the way it ended, and I hate what they did. Um, and there, no, that shouldn't have happened. Once Upon a Time. I loved Once Upon a Time. Season 7 was
I've seen up to like
atrocious.
3.
Season 3 was the best season, but season 7 was absolutely atrocious because one, half of the characters left because um the main cast, they signed on for a 6 season contract. And then when the 6 season contract was up, they were like, "Hey, do you want to come back for a 7th season?" And a lot of them were like, "No, because this isn't what we signed up for." And they should have just left it at that because season 7 was really bad. It was terrible. The way season 6 ended was a perfect ending. I don't know why they felt the need to do the same thing that Emma did with Henry. So, you know how Emma left Henry for adoption while she was like a baby or while he was a baby or whatever? They made Henry do the same thing, but with Cinderella's daughter. So he had a baby with Cinderella, with a new version of Cinderella, because there's like this alternate timeline or something
I was
like
about
that
to
in the
say,
seventh
wouldn't she
season.
be like too old for him?
No, because apparently I don't know. She had a baby with the he had a baby with the new Cinderella, and then Cinderella's new daughter, like his child shows up to like, "Hey, I'm your child." And it's like, "What?" Um I think the only original actors that came back were Robert Carlyle, who played Rumpelstiltskin, um, Lana, I don't know what her last name is, who played Regina, and then Colin O'Donoghue, I think is what his last name was. He played Hook,
Hmm.
played Captain Hook, which I watched it for him. He's the only reason I watched it. It was not
He's
good
the only
enough
reason a
to
lot of people
watch.
watch the whole damn show. He's
I
hot
mean,
and
that's
he's a
totally fair.
pirate.
That is totally fair.
It's what the women want.
It's totally fair. And you know what? Um, it makes sense that I loved Once Upon a Time because it's classified as a soap opera. And I loved the drama of soap operas because everyone's related. Someone dies every 2 episodes. There's some sort of family drama happening all the time. Someone's having someone's baby. Someone else is getting a divorce. There's so much family drama, and that's why I loved it. So, you know, um, now I think this is on everyone's list. I haven't seen past the first season, and I can't remember. I think you said you watched a couple of episodes of it, but Riverdale. Riverdale should have ended
I
after
saw
like season
four,
2.
four, four, 4 episodes, and I hated every single
Or
one of them. Four.
like they I was okay with the first season. The first season, like it was mediocre, but like it was entertaining enough to keep me like, okay, I can make it through this. And then season 2 happened, and I was like, I don't know what's happening here. And so I stopped. And then it just got worse. And everything I learned about it was against my will on TikTok. And it was a garbage fire.
I have two that I have found on this list that
Mhm.
are shows that never needed to exist. And the first one is the D'Amelio show.
Yeah.
Why do the D'Amelios need a show? What
They
are they
don't.
doing?
Nothing.
What are they doing that is interesting?
Nothing.
Charlie D'Amelio got famous for dancing. Her sister got famous because she's her sister. And now her sister is complaining that she's famous and is like depressed and suicidal and shit. And it's like, I get, that you didn't want the fame, but also like you like played into it and nobody made you do that.
Yeah.
You could have just deleted your account. Why did you feel the need to come out with terrible music that you and I both know was terrible music? Like, ma'am, and now you're coming out with a show because you're trying to be like the Kardashians, and you're not like the Kardashians. You're literally regular ass white people, and you're famous on TikTok. You're not a celebrity, you are
Your
an
family is not
influencer.
that interesting.
No. Why would you think that you're that interesting? What are we doing?
I don't
And
even think they
then
know at this point.
I don't think they do. And then the other one is The Idol.
I forgot about the I wiped that from my memory. I totally forgot about that.
Oh God, I have another one that I'm sad got canceled. So we watched The Idol for shits and giggles. I was like, I just want to know. I know that Jennie from Blackpink is in it, and I want to know what it's about.
People were talking
And
about how bad it
literally,
was, and they were like, it was all over TikTok, in like all over the internet. We watched it, and I lost brain cells.
I
I felt my brain turning into goo the entire time that we were watching that.
I found out that The Weeknd was the one that like produced it and had scrapped everything from the original show because originally it was produced by a woman and it was actually showing a woman's perspective of being an idol in Hollywood. And then The Weeknd said, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to change it up. And then they ran out of money, so then they had to use his house as a set for this fucking show. And then it turned into gaslighting, abusive revenge porn.
Yeah.
I, there is something deeply wrong with him and what he came up with for this show. I, like, very sincerely,
Therapy.
he disgusts me.
Yes.
Um, he was beating the shit out of this girl with a fucking hairbrush.
Dude.
Like, he electrocuted Troy Sivan or Troy Sivan.
Choice of I was
Um,
the only good thing about that show.
Yes, it was overly sexual. It, I was just in awe of how awful it was the whole time. And then at the end, now like the ending I did enjoy. Now granted, it did get canceled like an episode early, so they had to like figure out how to end it. But I did like the ending because then we find out that this whole time she was actually manipulating him. And she said, "You're never fucking leaving me. I own you." And I was like, "Yes, this is good. This is good. This
Girl
is
boss, I
good."
guess.
Get gaslight gatekeep girl boss. Let's go. That was
Didn't they
good.
use his own concert?
Yes, they did. They
Yeah, I
sure
remember you
did.
telling
He
me
had
that.
his concert and then she came out on stage and everyone was like, "The fuck?" Yeah, well, that's where she's nah, oh honey, you're never leaving me. You thought
That's
you
so
thought
wild.
that you owned me, but in fact,
Did he tell
I
the people attending his concert that, hey, this is what we're doing?
no, I remember seeing videos of people at the concert that they were posting. They're like, why the fuck is Lily Rose Depp on stage? What is going on? And then they were like, she's talking a whole bunch of nonsense. What is happening? So, yes, their budget was so low that they had to use his fucking house as a set and they had to use his actual real concert as part of the show.
So it's so funny, but it's also very sad to me.
Like, sir, you should have just given up.
You should
You
have
should have
quit while you
given
were
up.
ahead.
He scrapped everything. And now I'm like sitting here and I'm like,
That
so what
original
was it
plot would have
originally
been
about?
great.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I want to see a woman's perspective in Hollywood. This was
yeah.
not that. This was him
No.
like the fucking where he had her like wrapped up in that damn robe thing and she like couldn't breathe
Dude.
and he's like choking her as she's singing. I'm like, what are we doing? Who
I,
comes up with this? It was icky. It
I
gave me
just
the ick. It made me
I
uncomfortable.
I was it made me convinced that he just hates women.
Probably.
That's what it felt like.
Like, I'm so sorry that you're ugly. Don't take it out
Also,
on the rest of us. Like, it feels
yeah,
like we shouldn't even be in the room. It looks like
dude.
you should be
I
going
like
and getting
we
a
were
damn,
interrupting something.
yeah, go get a hotel room. They
And
canceled
then
the Vampire Academy show.
there was a
Now that
show.
makes sense. I didn't know there was a show either.
Um Also, what was the point of Jenny's character? Do you remember what it was? Do you remember why she was there?
To be like
Was she just a
a
name that they
backup
wanted?
dancer.
Yeah. I
And
remember a
then
backup
she was
dancer and
supposed to
trying to
be
take
like
her
the,
job or something like
yes,
that.
because she took like her song or whatever. And then they were like, oh, actually, the contract that we gave you, no work.
Yeah.
Sorry, bye.
That's all I remember. Because, like, a
There
lot
was
of
gonna
people
be
made
a
a big deal
story.
about her being in the episode, but, like, her being in the show, but she was only in, like, a couple episodes?
A couple episodes, she was only in it for like a short time. And K netizens, the K-pop fan people of the world, they got mad as fuck that she was in that show because it's so inappropriate. Which, I kind of get it. Like, she's a
Yeah.
grown-ass woman and she can do what she wants, but like, girl, you're a
You gotta
K-pop
pick better
idol.
shows.
You are a
You could have picked a
K-pop
better show.
idol. And you know that the K-nets would be all over your ass.
Hmm.
And look what it did. Look what it did. Um, the other show that I'm upset that got canceled, it was on, I believe, HBO Max. The show adaptation of The Time Traveler's Wife. It was good. It was good and I loved it and it was so good. And I cried so many buckets and oh my God, I love Theo James. I love Theo James. He is just so handsome. He's so handsome. And he was given a shit end of the stick for Allegiant and really just the Divergent series in general, having to work alongside Shailene Woodley and her weird screams.
Yeah.
He did such a good job in this show and they canceled it and it was so good. Like the movie, I've only seen the movie one time and I cried so hard that Matt made fun of me. Um, the show was so good. It was so good. And they
Oh,
canceled it.
did you watch season 2 of Locke Key?
No,
Okay, I
no, I
didn't
did not.
either. So I wasn't, so I just wanted to
Got
ask if you thought like
canceled.
it deserved to be canceled or not. But like the first season was great. I liked the first season, but by the time the second season came out, I was like, I'm not really that interested in
Yeah,
it, to be honest.
the first one really wasn't
Oops.
even that great. Um,
It
but
was
yeah,
it was new and interesting.
it was new and
So I think
interesting.
everyone kind of latched onto it. And then I guess I don't know if they didn't like promote it right or they just kind of forgot about it because then everybody else did. And by the time the next season came out, everyone was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. It happens. Poor Gerard
I,
Way.
w- I will say that I did stay up and watch it. I binge watched the entire show. So I was up till like 2 o'clock in the morning watching the first season. Okay,
Poor
but
Gerard Way.
there's a story behind that. So my mom was watching it um one day like she was watching it one day. I came home with my cousin because I was house sitting for her or with her, and we came over to my parents' house or my house for dinner. My mom had it on the TV and we were confused because she was on like episode 4 or 5 and we were like, I don't know what's happening, but the show was actually kind of interesting. And then we went back to my cousin's house and we watched it. We started from the beginning. One of her friends came over and we kind of had like this big sleepover in the living room and we turned it on and they fell asleep during like episode 2 or 3. I took the remote and I just sat there and I was watching it. I watched it and then I got a shower at 3 o'clock in the morning because my hair was gross and I couldn't think of anything else. And then I just couldn't go back to sleep. So I pulled an all-nighter and I was extremely tired the next day.
As one does.
As one
As one
does.
does.
But this was also during COVID, so it's not like we were doing anything.
Yeah.
It's not like we could go anywhere. So, I slept in the next day. It was fine. That was
Why not?
also the day after she and I burnt water. So, anyway,
How does
that's a
one
story for
burn
another time.
water?
You leave it on the stove boiling for the duration of an entire episode of Umbrella Academy. Because
Good job.
yeah, I told her, I was like, hey, do you want to watch this show? And I told her what it was about. And she was like, sure, let's watch it. So we turned on the Umbrella Academy and we were making tea. So like she'd put the water in the pot and like we were boiling it on the stove, waiting for it to boil because like their stove at the time was really old. So it took forever for the water to boil. Um, and then we we finished the episode. We completely forgot about the water. We finished the episode and she sits up and she kind of pauses and she's like, we started the second episode. We were like maybe 5 minutes into the second episode. And she pauses it. She sits up. She looks at me. She was like, do you smell that? And I was like, no. And she was like, it smells like something's burning. And I was like, we didn't leave anything on in the kitchen. And then we pause and we look at each other and she just goes, the water. And we get up and we run to the kitchen. I nearly die running up the stairs because like the way their house is set up, they have like a little set of stairs. Um, but I almost died. I tripped going up the stairs and the entire pot was like burnt water. We managed to wash it out. So it was like brand new. It was fine. But yeah, we burned water.
As one does.
I didn't think it was possible. And then we fell on the floor and we were laughing on the floor for like 15 minutes. So, fun times. Fun
I also
times.
just realized that for Lock and Key, I said poor Gerard Way. I have realized Gerard Way wrote Umbrella Academy, not Lock and Key. Joe Hill wrote Lock and Key. That's my bad. That's me being tired. Putting that out there so that nobody's in the comments like, you dumb bitch. Gerard Way didn't write Lock and Key. Not like anybody is going to watch this far or that anybody's going to give a shit that I said anything. Because who even watches this? Nobody.
Grace and Diana. Hi.
That's it. That's it. I could be like, you dumb whore. Why don't you know what you're talking about? And that's a good question. Why don't I
It's a
know what
good
I'm
question.
talking about?
Does
'Cause
anyone
I'm
know what
tired.
anyone's talking about these days?
That's
No.
a very fair.
What else?
I don't
I
have
think
any
it's
more. I
I
went
think
through the
it's
entire 114 pages.
ah, nice. I think it's stupid and like as bad as the movies were, I think it's stupid that they canceled the last Allegiant movie
Yeah,
for Divergent. You were
yeah.
one movie away. You were one movie away. You couldn't have done it one more, even if it was bad. But
I
also the ending of the
refused
book
to
was stupid, so
finish
it's
Allegiant, so I
yeah.
refused.
Well, the ending of the book was stupid anyway.
Yeah, it ruined dystopian for everyone.
Well, it ruined
Fuck you,
dystopian, but
Veronica Roth.
it ruined dystopian for everyone, but also like ha Triss dies. Four marries her best friend. Like,
I'd
what?
beat your ass
Dude,
from the afterlife.
listen, Matt's cool, but
He's
mm-mm,
not your type, but,
no.
just I would beat your ass from the afterlife.
You can rest easy in the afterlife with your apple willow tree. Thank you for watching this episode of Narrative Nations. We are on YouTube and Spotify, depending on whether or not you want to see our faces or any co-hosts we may have in the background during occasional episodes. I did not have any today. Bianca had one who was on screen for a moment, and then one who was off screen that we did not see, but that is fine. My children, it's okay. They love me. They'll see me at some point. My godchildren, I love them. I devote my life to them. And I will be taking them if Bianca ever dies. She knows this, and I will fight her fiance for them anyway. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.